Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 11, and I'm sorry this was late, guys. It's just over here in Canada. It was Thanksgiving Day today, so I was playing host to pretty much all of my family to basically to basically a lot of my family who came over to in order to have Thanksgiving dinner with me and whatnot. So yeah, I had to. That's the main reason as to why this review is basically so late. But having said that, now let's jump right into it. And one thing I can say I really liked about this episode is how it put emphasis on such a minor character like from it was how it put such emphasis on such a minor character that we wouldn't really even think about that really only appeared only a couple times in season one, and really fleshed out how involved he's actually been with the overall story. And the more amazing part for me is that all this was basically foreshadowed off the back of one passing line, and I'm paraphrasing the English dub on this one, it was something that pretty much Keith said in the beginning of season one. Grisha, as far as today goes, it should bring you pride because your son is a soldier. That basically one line that pretty much Keith said. It it pretty much said it pretty much set up everything that we pretty much learned in this episode, and from there, like I said, it was just about this. It was just about filling in the blanks, and yeah, with this episode, it all did it in it was all done in a way that puts a whole new perspective on past events from season one, while still making sense and very much. And if I may say so myself, I think that this we can say for sure that this episode actually puts the absolute screws, like just screwing out the window, screwing kind to basically the whole idea of a destined hero in a shonen series. Like seriously, that's what this, like honestly, that you could argue that that's what this whole episode did. It was saying our main our main hero is not this special chosen one. He's just just as average as anyone else, any other soldier in the series, who just so happens to have the abilities of Titan. That's it. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of refreshing take in order to see that in a world like this. Hell, like the only reason that pretty much Keith even chose to test Eren in the way he did was because he needed some kind of self verification of his own self worth. So yeah, Keith, like as far as Keith goes as a character of Keith Shadis as a character, he's very much a tragic character because the only thing he was ever really able to do was pretty much be, as he said, a bystander who was passing by and who can just look on as others basically as others others pretty much trying to accomplish what he couldn't. Like he was just pretty much Keith Shadis as a character is just an average Joe. He's not anyone. He's not anyone special, and it says that, and it just got to the point where he thinks that yeah, that they're pretty much in this world that there pretty much are no heroes. That there are no heroes. There's just people existing kind of thing. So yeah, it's really kind of it puts a whole new perspective on who this guy on who pretty much Keith is as a character, and it's like, yeah, man, you've suffered a lot. So yeah, and with the start of this new arc, we also get a very interesting reveal in this episode that Grisha was very much like Ymir in the sense where he was someone that was just aimlessly outside the walls with a fragmented memory, and we clearly see that even with that problem, he was able to live a relatively normal life inside the walls. But it's only after the fall of basically Prince Maria of Wall Maria and Giganshina that we see that he started to act a little erratic, even more erratic. So something about that event obviously triggered his memory back. Like I think we can safely assume that, because when pretty much when we see Aaron, well, pretty much telling his, basically half unconscious and telling his father exactly what happened. We basically, at the moment that pretty much Grisha learned of the fate of Walmaria, you can see in his eyes that something snapped. Or hell, even before that, when he met up with Keith, and during the whole during the whole wall break of Walmaria, you can see that he was like in a huff and a panic and whatnot. So yeah, on that day, something clearly snapped in him, and I more than likely his memories, all of his memories, pretty much, and all the memories he supposedly lost, ended up coming flooding back to him, and yeah, everything. This is the thing is, it's the thing is, this is kind of one of those things. The thing is that this is what we basically see in this episode, and what's being alluded to in this episode with Grisha gaining his memories back. It's really only the beginning of the crazy ass reveals that have yet to hit the fan with this new arc. Like this is only the start of some of the craziness that you guys are about to see in this arc. So yeah, just take that for what it's worth. And but yeah, obviously Grisha knows a lot more than obviously, with Grisha having gained his memory back at the time. Obviously he definitely knew more than pretty much anyone else, and he wasn't willing to share, I guess. Also, one thing I really liked in this episode is that is that brief little section of us seeing just how far humanity has developed, pretty much since pretty much the whole thing of reforming the government and whatnot. Yet it also was done in such a realistic way too, because it showed that even after all the reforms and all the advancements that they've done pretty much since then, uh, for every step forward they've done, there also has been a couple steps back as well. And in this case, the big steps back so far have been that while they've come up with better weapons to fight the Titans, they haven't come up with a solution in order to revert the Titans back to human beings. And so yeah, that's already like, it's kind of a sad case where right now there it doesn't seem like there really is any way in which they can even cure the Titans, even with the kind of medicine they have. So yeah, and again, this is one of those things that's really kind of, this is one of those episodes that pretty much keeps building on top, as has a lot of little hidden details that keep building on top of the major S reveal that I assume is going to come at the end of this arc. Like, trust me, it is a major S reveal. Um, and the other major step back is Aaron himself, who, from where I'm sitting, his condition seems to be getting worse from every single time he uses his power, and it's kind of ironic to think that these new hardening abilities that pretty much gave himself in the Survey Corps pretty much new strength is actually becoming his greatest weakness, so to speak. So yeah, it's kind of ironic in that sense. Um, I also like how, in terms of the Survey Corps, we've started to see this kind of divide and a bit of a shift between the current generation and these new recruits, with like, because we basically see in this episode that people like Jean, Aaron, Armin, all these guys, all of them still very much are aware that even with these advancements, that being a scout, there is still a constant danger you end up facing. Whereas with these newer recruits, they pretty much only ended up joining because they thought that things had changed enough where being a scout had become safer, pretty much due to all these advancements in the methods to kill Titans. So it's a situation in a very much really weird sense where things have become better and worse for pretty much the Survey Corps. They've ended up gaining pretty much vast amounts of new recruits, but there's a good chance the majority of them are still gonna die when out in the field because because basically they're pretty much all these cocky little shitheads who have who have no experience of what facing a titan really means, and they have no freaking ideas as to what they're even in for because again because they're confident that all these new advancements are gonna keep them from dying. So it's like, and in that sense, I feel it's almost the series' way of acknowledging that fodder characters are really only there to die or something like that. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, like I definitely like how there is this how there's this sort of a this sort of divide among the new recruits and the current generation of scouts like I said, Arm and all of them, that they pretty much know as to what they're getting into. But these guys, yeah, they're pretty much dead. And Marlowe, I will admit, I'm curious as far as Marlowe goes. I'm curious to see as to where they're gonna take this. But yeah, as much as I like Marlowe's development, I don't think he's destined to pretty much survive by pretty much the end of the series. I think he's just as much a dead man as the rest of these guys, honestly. And one final thing I'll take note of is I don't know about the rest of you, but Jean was acting like an extra special asshole in the beginning of this episode, and I laughed every minute of it, almost just as much as if not more so than I did at Mikasa's death glares in this episode. But yeah, but yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AnyList, or Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Illinois, signing off. Later, guys.